Hello, everyone. Am I early or am I late? I think I scheduled it for 8. I had to make me some coffee because I'm gonna be up tonight. I got some assignments in philosophy to make up, and I got a new coffee maker, child, that was shining like new money and glistening in front of my door when I got home from work. My other one, I got a real small one because my other one stopped working. So I was like, I'm gonna get a small one, and I just paid $19 for that small one, and I was making coffee, and the glass just popped, broke. I should have took it back, but I thrown the box away. So I ordered me another one from Target, one that I can program in the mornings. It'll just start brewing my coffee. Y'all, what's up? Hey, Miss Keita, Miss Nelly, the Black Barbie, Diane, Miss Muffin. I see all my hitters in the chat already. Miss T, I wish nothing but thank you so much, darling. I appreciate that so much. Even though philosophy, I thought I would have more issues with history. Don't y'all know? I just looked at my grade in history so far. I have A average. I mean, I didn't think that I would, because normally when I'm not interested in stuff, it really it's hard for me to concentrate. I think I put too much thought into philosophy because it's really not about what you think, I guess, and it's so hard to, I guess, deprogram yourself. And the thing about it is, like, I'm gonna have to take a lot of philosophy classes because my major is pre-law. So I just gotta that one right there. I spoke with my instructor on that one, and I told her I need her to work with me to help, because I don't want to make a C. I missed some assignments because she be giving them, like, it seemed like 2-3 a day, and I told her, I said, I don't want to make anything less than a B in the philosophy class. Like, I just don't want to. So she's gonna work with me on the assignments that I missed and let me go back and um and work on them. So yeah. See, the first day of the class, she started assigning a whole lot of work, and I got the days mixed up. Her class started on the 15th. I thought it started on the 17th. By that time, I had already missed 2-3 quizzes. Like, wow. Hey, Gerald. Y'all, my Juki Fruki. Today is her birthday. My Juki Fruit Pie. So she's spending some time with her other grandmother. And then she and I are gonna get together on Sunday. Okay. And me and her gonna go do some things. Like I told my daughter, because my daughter's like, well, her grandmama said that she got a week. I said, no, she don't have the whole weekend planned. And I shout out to her other grandmama. Okay, shout out to her. I ain't got no issues with her. She love her too, but she can't hog up my grandbaby. Okay, she can't hog up all the time. And I don't know what's going on with my daughter, but I'm gonna have to have a conversation with her because I'm her mama. She don't do me like that. I don't want to be met. We gonna work this thing out. Okay, we're gonna work it out. Hey, Tyranny. Y'all know how we black mamas do it. But the juki fruits. So she's with her because my daughter, okay, my daughter has the work. So she's with her other grandmother, and then me and her, I got some things planned. Don't y'all know I've been looking for, because I was gonna get it for her birthday, but I got her the cutest little outfits and stuff. I think, I was gonna get her Sunday because I don't have to work Monday. I got something that I gotta do. But she probably can stay with me. and we can go do some girl stuff, like go to the go to the market and find some things to do downtown. Me and the Juki fruits. And what else do I want to do with my grandbaby? And then but y'all know I've been looking for that hooked on phonics. Do they still sell those? Because I want her to be advanced. I want her vocabulary to be advanced. Hooked on phonics. Let's see. Is it hooked on phonics? I'm old, y'all. Do they still sell that game? I'm sure it's something else now. Hooked on phonics. It was founded in 1987. Do they still sell them? Learn to read. I figured it out. That's one of the things that I'm sure the name has changed. I want to get her for Christmas. Anyways, you guys, I wanted to talk about Sean Grayson was convicted of taking out Sonya Massey. Let me tell y'all something. And I want to talk about the feds take down current and ex-cops for trafficking in Mississippi. And I'm hearing in Tennessee too. I'm talking about in Memphis. But we don't see. But right now they're talking about Mississippi. Okay, they got busted for trafficking drugs. Okay, listen, I don't have any issues with the feds taking down crooked police officers. Okay, and I know when I get on here and I say that I'm pro police, I am pro police, but I've always clarified that I'm not pro police. I don't uphold the bad police officers. I think that all of the bad apples in the bunches need to be out. Okay, they either need to be fired or they need to be indicted. And it seems like to me that the feds are definitely working overtime to um, shake up a lot of organizations. Hey, I'm not opposed to them taking down bad police officers, especially if they're involved in trafficking of any sort. I can remember something similar like this happened probably about 8 years ago or something like that with Memphis Police Department, where and one of the guys that was busted, he was a lieutenant. He had he was flipping houses, him and his brother, when it was not even popular. They was making money. They were police officers, and I mean it was just greed. And I was so shocked because I just never thought that he would do something like that. But he ended up getting federal time. Okay, he went and did his time and all of that. But at that time he had been a police officer for about 25 years, 25, almost 30. So you lose everything. You lose your pension, you lose everything for greed. And what ended up happening was he started robbing basically drug dudes that was bringing in drugs and stuff on the expressway, and they started telling on him, um, that he was robbing, or he was taxing them. He was he was taxing them. That's what he was doing. He was taxing them, and so it seems like to me this is something similar that has happened in Mississippi. Okay, um, the feds have taken them down. I'm sure that they got told on too. It's just, I guess, just telling season. Okay. And let me just say this. Okay, this is a season. When I talk about seasons of revelation, I think we've been in that season of revelation for a very long time. Just because I don't talk about something don't mean it don't mean nothing. Okay, it just means that I don't talk about it because it's probably just not the I just don't at this point. But this is definitely the season of of revelation. Okay. This is the season where God is removing the veil. Okay. And all of those things that have been hidden will be revealed. And I can, you know, I, I've, what's the word that I'm looking for? I see some shakeups happening with Memphis Police Department, and hey, I'm not mad about it. I think I've said for a very long time that even when I started working there, when I started working for the Memphis Police Department, I started working there in 2000. It's been 25 years ago, and the missing persons unit was always a unit that investigators went to. They they bidded to there. It was a gravy spot. Okay. At that time, I didn't know why God was allowing me to see all this stuff. And it was just funny to us. Oh, okay, he got 2 years left. I'm getting ready to do a bid and go over to missing persons. And hey, I'm getting ready to be stress free, and I'm just get a free check while I'm in the drop plan, right? Well, well, a lot of that is gonna change. Okay. A lot of that is gonna change. So um, hey, anyways, we'll get into that. But anyways, let's get into this because I was getting ready to talk about something, but maybe right now ain't the time to talk about it.
Happening now, the FBI, along with the U.S. Attorney General, will make a big announcement about a Mississippi Delta drug conspiracy takedown. We will take you back to Oxford once this press conference gets
Oh,
started.
it happened in Oxford, you guys.
Now, roughly
Oxford
10,000
is like
people
an
attended
hour from
Turning Point
Memphis.
USA's event at Ole Miss last night, and they heard from Erica Kirk and Vice President J.D. Vance. It was 7 weeks ago yesterday that right-wing political activist Charlie Kirk was assassinated while debating with students at a Turning Point USA event at Utah's death.
And when you take that stand on social media,
let's listen in to what they have to say.
Drug trafficking as well as associated crimes. The first indictment that I'll talk about involves a conspiracy whereby law enforcement officers and their accomplices are alleged to have agreed to provide safe passage for illegal narcotics and drug proceeds to the Mississippi Delta region, and ultimately on the last of those runs into Memphis itself. And they did this in return for bribe payments for money. They are also indicted for related firearms offenses and, of course, individual counts related to specific runs throughout the Mississippi Delta. Indicted in this conspiracy are the following individuals, and when I'm giving you this list of places of employment, a lot of them are still employed or were up to today in those places, but the places I'm referring to where they're employed, that's really during the times that are relevant to the charges in their indictment. So indicted in this particular conspiracy were Brandon Addison, who's a Mississippi law enforcement officer employed by the Hollandale Police Department and the Humphreys County Sheriff's Office at times relevant to the indictment. Javari Howard, a Mississippi law enforcement officer employed by the Metcalf Police Department and later, during the course of the investigation, the Hollandale Police Department. Milton Gaston, the elected sheriff of Washington County, Mississippi. True Ron Grayson, who was employed by the Humphreys County Sheriff's Office. Bruce Williams, who was the elected, or is at the moment, the elected sheriff of Humphreys County, Mississippi. Sean Williams, who was employed by the Yazoo City Police Department. Dexter Franklin, who was employed by the Washington County Sheriff's Office. Wendell Johnson, who was employed by the Bolivar County Sheriff's Office. Now, I want to take note on this particular name. When you see the indictments themselves, you're going to have 22 names. I'm about to explain why we're telling you 20 people are now charged. And so this next individual who appears in the indictment, I want to make this very clear. Based on information obtained today, the charges against Amber Holmes have been dismissed. She's no longer charged in this case and is no longer implicated in any wrongdoing related to this
Well, then she
investigation.
must have been. She the one told
The
it.
remaining co-defendants on that first indictment, the large one, are Marcus Nolan, Hassan Roach, Jeremy Salas, Torio Chaz Wiseman, Pierre Lakes, and Derek Wallace. The first four of those individuals I named escorted alleged drugs on runs on a run to Memphis, and likewise the last two persons I named, Mr. Lakes and Mr. Wallace joined the conspiracy on a trip that was taken by a number of the co-conspirators to Miami, Florida. A separate indictment charges a conspiracy as follows. It's essentially the attempt to aid and abet the transport and distribution of illegal narcotics in return for bribes, related offenses regarding the carrying of firearms while doing that, and that the crux of that indictment was the transport of what the defendants thought were 25 kilograms of cocaine through the Mississippi Delta. And those defendants are Jamario Sanford, who is employed at the Greenwood Police Department, Marvin Flowers, who is employed at the Sunflower County Sheriff's Department. And again, this is the second of those names I mentioned to you. You'll see in an indictment the name Taquana Rucker. And again, based on information obtained today, the charges against Ms. Rucker have been dismissed. She's no longer charged in this case and is no longer implicated in any wrongdoing in this investigation. A further indictment charges Martavius Moore, who's a police officer in Greenville, Mississippi, with aiding and abetting the transport of what he thought was 25 kilograms of cocaine and carrying a firearm, of course, during that. Marquavius Bankhead was a patrolman with the Mississippi Highway Patrol. And he has been indicted, and he's no longer with the Highway Patrol. He has recently resigned from the Highway Patrol. He was indicted for, again, aiding and abetting the transport of 25 kilograms of cocaine, or what he thought was that. Chaka Gaines with the Greenville Police Department was again charged with attempting to aid and abet the transportation of narcotics, essentially to traffic drugs through the Delta, and was likewise charged with a firearm offense related to that. DeQuarian Smith with the Humphreys County Sheriff's Department and the Isola Police Department was likewise charged with conspiracy to aid and abet the possession, transportation, and distribution of illegal narcotics. Finally, and this is always important to say at one of these, I'd remind everybody present that an indictment is just that, it's an allegation. That indictment, those allegations have to be proven in a court of law. Everybody in this country operates under the presumption of innocence, and nothing's changed about that. That being said, there's an 18th century philosopher, writer, you name it, he did a lot, named Edmund Burke, and there's a quote that is often associated with him. And that is that the only thing necessary for evil to flourish is for good men to do nothing. And I am before you today profusely thanking the good men of the FBI, because they'll tell you a little bit more about the investigation itself, but this was a years-long investigation. This wasn't anything that happened overnight. They invested a lot of time, a lot of resources into conducting a very thorough investigation that continues today. And I cannot thank them enough. The work put in by Assistant United States Attorney Robert Mims has been phenomenal. And I just appreciate the fact that good men and good women are standing in that breach to try to restore confidence in our law enforcement agencies in Mississippi. And at this time, I'm very much honored to invite Deputy Director Andrew Bailey to make a few comments. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, FBI Deputy Director Andrew Bailey. I am present here today to support the mission of the Federal Bureau of Investigation and to enhance the cooperation and coordination with our proud partners at the United States Attorney's Office. I want to emphasize that my presence is to underline the importance and the magnitude of this case. This operation and these indictments are a success, but they point to a troubling reality. We're talking about 14 current or former law enforcement officers, 6 co-conspirators who are alleged to have sold out the public, promoted crimes that they should have been investigating and stopped, and instead of working to still.
And we've been listening to the FBI announce the indictment of over a dozen law enforcement officers here in Mississippi. And you can watch the full press conference in its entirety on our website, WLBT.com.
Hold on, you all. I wanted to see what he had to say because they're not playing out there, y'all. They are not playing. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Hold on. So I guess it was just 10 minutes. Hold on. That is the damn website, lady. Well, anyways, it says that in exchange, the officers allegedly received tens of thousands of dollars in bribes. Those amounts are below. One of the officers received $37,500. Another officer received $31,000. Another officer received $20,000. Another one received $19,500, $18,000, $16,000, $14,000, $12,000. Amber Holmes, the one that they said the charges was dropped, they said she received $1,000. So we know she told on them, right? The rest of them received $6,500, $5,000, $5,000, $1,500, and $1,500. Okay. So I don't know how they're able to calculate that. Okay, so it's more than likely they received a whole lot more than that. But they said that they've been watching them for well over a year. Okay, we already know that when the federal government get involved in anything, you know, they slow walk it down. They're very quiet about it. And one of the things that I told you all, like when the FBI had to get involved when I was working for MPD, they would always butt heads. It was always like a love-hate relationship because the Memphis police investigators would be mad at the FBI because they felt like the FBI thought that they would have to come into an investigation for whatever reasons. And the Memphis Police Department thought that the FBI felt like they was, I guess, sunning them. And then when the FBI would get involved, when they were supposed to be working with MPD investigators, they would get quiet, and MPD would say they wouldn't share a lot of information with them when it was supposed to be like a joint type situation, right? And I now that I see how really see how the federal government works, that's just how they work, right? Yeah, that's just how they work. So they tried Cornelius Smith They tried to Cornelia Smith. Okay. Cornelia Smith is supposed to go to court tomorrow. I'm glad you brought him up. Stop. Don't you see me on here? Don't you see me on here? Don't you see me on here? Answer me when I'm talking to you. Now, y'all act good when I'm on here. You know, they think I'm crazy talking to the dogs, okay? Telling the dogs to answer me, but that's how we do it over here, okay? But I'm glad you mentioned Cornelia Smith because he's supposed to go to court tomorrow. I think with Cornelia Smith, that probably should be like a movie all by itself. I be getting mad at my puppies when they don't answer me. Okay, because I feel, when the kids don't answer you, that means, how we used to, when our parents would say, answer me, we get in trouble when we wouldn't say anything. Okay, we was being considered being rebellious. But he's supposed to go. I'm gonna check and see if it has been rescheduled, because for some odd reason they keep on rescheduling Cornelius's court dates. I don't say a lot about Cornelius stuff. The federal government is on a rampage. I don't want to get in their way. Okay. I just want to be a good little worker, and I'm stay out the way, because they knocking down anything that get in their way. Trump has given them, what's the word that I'm looking for? He has given them not the power, but basically the power, but he's just given, like, it's whatever. It's a federal, it's the feds world. It's a federal government world at this point. So they just knocking down anything. Like, they going back and getting folks for in it. Make sure your taxes paid. Make sure you ain't out here committing fraud and identity thefts. I'm gonna tell y'all something. If you've been a victim of identity theft, this would be the perfect timing to look into your paperwork. Check your what's the word that I'm looking for? Y'all know my head and stuff be all over the place. Check your credit report. Look up your information to see if somebody else's name is on your stuff. I happened to check my stuff the other day, and somebody up in Wade did it up in New York. Okay, using my email address, and they got some more shit going on. You already know I'm on top of that shit, because they done did that one time before. Somebody in Atlanta, somebody sold my information to this rehabilitation center in Atlanta. Somebody was being rehabilitated and was using my social security number. But anyways, they paid off the balance or whatever. So I guess whoever it was that was online that sold it, they probably told me you need to pay that balance off. Somebody right now, and this is being investigated right now, for real. Okay. And everything else is for real too. But somebody that is receiving cancer treatment has went and they're receiving cancer treatments up under my daughter's name. Okay. The hospital called my daughter about 3 weeks ago and found a number and called, was asking about her getting her. They've been getting treatments for a while up under her name. Y'all, this is how people are selling information. And yes, the feds are involved in that. I can't wait to figure out until they really get to the bottom of that, to see who sold her information. Because at this point, like I was telling somebody, you got to get the people that's selling the information, because they're the culprits. To just be selling somebody's information like that. So, and one thing for sure, that when they get a hold to the people that's actually doing it, they tell on the people that they bought it from. So I guess that's not going to be a problem either, but this would be the opportunity, if you've ever been a victim of any type of fraud, to get them knocked down, because everybody that's committing federal crimes, they get knocked down, and they getting at least 4 years. So this would be the opportunity. Okay. to get their motherfucking asses knocked down, okay? And I'm trying to knock down anything that has ever violated me and mine, okay? That's what I'm trying to do. So yeah. So check y'all's credit reports. Yeah, start looking into your credit reports. The little tools and shit online where you can run your own name and stuff. See if there are people that's affiliated with your name that should not be. Okay, that's how you start digging. And then when you do, get your ass over there to the federal, to the FBI. Okay, it ain't good enough. Everybody has a FBI branch in their city. I know a lot of times you want to go online and fill out something. That's cool too. But if I was you, I'd get on down there. Okay. If I was you, I would just go take a visit over there to the branch that's in your city. Okay. And make some reports and see who it is that you could talk to, because you will be able to talk to somebody. And it's always good to get lawyers. I'm seeing now, like, a lot of things that are just brushed over. Okay. When you start talking about internet crimes, they're really federal. This is a federal entity. So that's why it's considered like terroristic threats. Like, it's when you're doing it over a federal entity, which is this internet, right? Like cyberbullying and all of that. A lot of people think that stuff like that is just brushed up under the rug. That's because the police don't really know the law, because they just enforce whatever. Okay, but it's good to get yourself a lawyer that knows the law, to force law enforcement to go in, that knows the laws on the books, and to go into law enforcement with your lawyer to force them to start doing what is necessary to take down people that feel that's just comfortable with committing crimes. Okay, there is something on the book for every crime. I'm telling you right now. Harassment, especially when it's done over a federal entity, which is the internet, right? I know a lot of times people tell you ain't nothing gonna happen. The police don't know the law. Okay, I'm figuring that out. They don't know the law, so that's why you have to get a lawyer that knows the law, that go in and regurgitate what the law is to them, to force them to move their hands. Okay. So yeah, but this would be the opportunity. Somebody that's, because I think it's messed up for people to try to come up off of messing up somebody else's name and social, what I mean, using their information. And if you don't move on it, then you probably could get in trouble. Like I said, the Fed's knocking down everybody. So you find yourself having to defend yourself. Wait a minute, I ain't do this. I haven't gotten a 3-4 houses or whatever it is that these folks are doing, because they're doing quite a bit. Okay, what they're doing is that they're selling social security numbers. This is another reason why, you guys, that Trump is, even though I won't say it on here, Trump is really going after a lot of the a lot of the illegal people, because what's happening is you got people, okay, that has access to information that they shouldn't have access to. You got people working in the medical field. If you know somebody that's doing it, what you can get their licenses taken, and they're gonna go do some federal time, because you're talking about HIPAA laws and everything. But you got a lot of these hood rats now that's getting into these hospitals and stuff, and these doctors' offices, and they're selling information online. Or they're going on the black market and selling it. And what they're doing is they're selling it to Hispanics. Okay. So they get your information, they sell it to Hispanics. They got people that work in the DMV. Y'all gonna start seeing a whole lot of employees that work in these DMVs across the US. Mark my word, because it's gonna happen in Memphis. Okay. You're gonna start seeing I probably shouldn't have said that. Okay. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. But it's gonna, a lot of this stuff is getting ready to be, it's in the process of being stopped. Okay. And they'll go into the DMV and they'll get a driver's licenses and stuff in your name. because somebody that has access to information they shouldn't have access to, with your social security number, and working into these hospitals and shit like this, has gotten your information and sold your information to a lot of these Hispanics. Okay. And so I think, and I think that's another reason why they're cracking down on a lot of this, because it's real bad. But these black ass motherfuckers is going to gonna get hit harder than these Hispanics. They're just gonna send them home. Okay. These black folks that ain't never had shit. Okay. I don't understand how you could work your butt off to get a decent job, and then you turn around and start working around information, getting people's information and selling it. You risk your whole livelihood. Not only are you never going to be able to be relicensed or work into in the medical field again, you're going to have your ass in jail. A lot of these women are real twisted. Bitch, you got kids. You ain't never had shit, but you done pull yourself up off of your bootstraps, and you making a little progress, and you get your ass on the social media and get caught up in federal crimes as if it ain't gonna come back to you. Okay. So now what they do is they have a system. And I know this for a fact. Every time the system is, and they changed the system to crack down on that in the medical field. I was told that recently, because I was like, dog, now when you go anywhere, they're able to pull your information. The person told me, well, yeah, because you go to a new doctor's office, they look in the system. Oh, okay. But they did that because now they're able to tell each and every time somebody has logged into your information. I mean, I would think that it makes people's information too accessible, but now each and every time somebody look at your information in the medical system, they can trace back who it is. So they changed that system, they said, for a reason, so that they could crack down on this shit. So I don't know. I just don't understand how people risk their livelihoods. For what? For what? Okay. But it's crazy. I guess so that they can get information and sell people's information. Child. They got so many laws that they're changing. They're making them more stringent. They're putting them up slowly, moving them up under, making them federal, so that people can go to jail and not get back out. Okay. 4 years is not a lot of time, but I mean, I wouldn't want to go sit in a jail cell for 4 years. That's 4 years of your life. Who wants to do that? Okay, who wants to go sit in a jail cell for 4 years and lose 4 years of their life? Just sitting in a cell. Okay. And so I was thinking, I was like, I was talking to one of the attorneys. I was like, well, 4 years is not a whole lot of time. They go chop them 4 years up and they get back out and they get into the same thing. And you know what that attorney said? And then they just they're gonna get indicted and go do 4 more years. So that's 8 years. Okay. And then they get out, they're gonna do 4 more years. Okay. So that's 12 years until they get the lesson, because they're gonna do them years. I was like, wow, I didn't think about that. Okay. So they got a hit out on y'all asses. And the man at the top of the chain, the highest official in the land, is backing them. Okay. So the Fed's been hitting everybody, even law enforcement. Okay. So if your nose ain't clean, you need to get it clean. And even if you've done a lot of dirt, they probably already looking at you. Okay. So you probably gonna have to pay for that anyways, especially if you've been committing fraud. Okay. Because just like cleaning up organizations, these government organizations is at the top of the chain. They lose a lot of money because of fraud. That's at the top of the chain too. Okay. So remember I told you that when people think, and I'm not, and I hey, I'm not one to, listen. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna move on from that because I don't be wanting to say too much. What was we talking about? Because I get to talking and I get to talking and saying too much. I done broke myself up from that. But anyways, I don't have no issues with what they're as far as law enforcement and taking down crooked police officers and all of that. I think that they should. Okay. The only way to clean up the civilians is to clean up the law enforcement. Okay. That's the only way. How you gonna be out there robbing the drug boys? You taxing the drug boys. Okay. I mean, you worse than you worse. They robbing the drug boys. Okay. Who was that? A guy told me one time, was it one of my cousins? It had to have been one of my cousin's friends because they never hung out downtown around Cleveland. One of my cousin's friends, I remember him saying that when he was hustling, he said he was standing around somewhere around Cleveland, around one of those streets downtown. And he said an officer pulled up on him and searched him. He said he had hustled and made a real big wad of money. He said, I knew I was going to jail because I still had a few that, they was selling crack. He said, so I knew I was going to jail. He said, he just kind of rolled up on me. It blindsided me. I didn't see him. I was out there hustling so hard. He said that officer checked his pockets, and I believe him. He said that officer checked my pockets. And he said, when he pulled that crack up out of my pocket, I wasn't going to fight it because he had me. He said that officer checked his other pocket and got that big bankroll he had in his pocket out, took it and put it in his pocket and put the rocks back in. It gave him the rocks back and got in his car and drove off. Listen, I promise to God, I believe him. I don't know why when he said it, because he was saying it with so much energy. I mean, I believe him. I absolutely believe that it happened. It says breaking HIPAA laws. Yeah, breaking HIPAA laws is a major crime. Like I said, a lot of young ladies are getting into the medical field. It's a lot of money in that, but I can't understand, like, why do you risk it all for nothing? Okay. To sell information. That's worse. You're gonna do time and you get ready to lose your livelihood. They get in there to get people's social security numbers and sell it. I'm telling you, it's happening. I don't know how much they make at the DMV. I'm sure they ain't making that much. Those employees, but it's enough to live off of, pay their bills and stuff. That little money, that whatever they're getting on the side from selling innocent people's information to the Hispanics, it ain't gonna be worth the time that they gonna get, because they it ain't gonna be worth it. Okay. But I digress. Okay. Like I said, the Fed's knocking everybody down. And they've been given the key to every city by the highest official in the land. Okay. And that is the president. They own the streets now. They own the streets. So, listen. Now, what I had heard it's some I had heard that there's some things going on with MPD. It's like some shakeups, some structural shakeups. Hey, I'm not mad about that. Maybe that's what it needs to be. Okay. We see that the fire chief resigned. Now allegedly they forced her to resign. That now the fire chief is up under the mayor. Okay, the city fire chief. They said she retired, but that allegedly she was forced into retirement. Somebody else retired with the Memphis Police Department. They said that this slowly but surely, okay, things are changing. And hey, I don't know what else to say about that. Um they said him and Elon Musk, how can to see a thief going to keep helping the low life Trump get Diddy out? He didn't deserve that. He slept with his son and daughter. Let's pray for them babies. Who slept with their son and daughter? Mm. Oh wow. Anyways, y'all, Sean Grayson, this is one of those cases that when I saw it, it was very disturbing to me when I first saw that this happened, where this police officer in Illinois just killed a lady. She told him, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, and he shot and killed her. And so I was reading like what some of his testimony was, and he says that he felt like it was a threat to him. It was a threat to his person when she told him, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. He said that he felt threatened. Okay. He felt threatened, and he felt like it was justified in taking her down because she told him, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Okay. He truly is a devil, right? So his partner has testified against him, and his partner says that that he was not afraid of Miss Sonia Massey when he killed her, when his partner killed her, which was Sean Grayson. He said he was not afraid of Miss Massey at no time. He said he tried to give her CPR, in which Sean Grayson, who killed her, told him not to administer CPR to Miss Massey. He said the only person that he was afraid of was his partner at that point. He said that's the reason why, and I think I found the video. Okay. But his partner said he became afraid of him. Hold on. I'm glad they didn't let him get off. Oh, he done lost so much weight. He looks terrible. He look like he already somebody. Okay. Look like to me they put him in a straight jacket already. Okay. And he should have been in a straight jacket before he killed that lady, because he ain't had no business killing that lady, being on the department. Says a jury has found Illinois deputy Sean Grayson guilty of second-degree unaliving in the shooting of Sonia Massey. Grayson faces a potential sentence of up to 20 years in prison or probation, with sentencing scheduled for January 29th. Now, all he gets is up to 20 years. I thought they said he got life. It says on July 6, 2024, when Grayson and another deputy responded to Massey's Springfield home after she reported a prowler, Grayson shot the 36-year-old woman following a confrontation over a pot of hot water she had removed from the stove. Grayson claimed he feared Massey would scald him with the water. Initially charged with first-degree murder, Grayson was convicted of the lesser charge of second degree, which applies when a defendant faces serious provocation or believes their actions are justified, even if that belief is unreasonable. This conviction could result in a sentence of 4 to 20 years with the possibility of having a sentence for good behavior or probation. Body camera footage from the scene recorded by Deputy Dawson fairly played a crucial role in the prosecution's case. The video captured Massey, who had mental struggles, pleading with the officer, "Don't hurt me, please don't hurt me." Despite Grayson's claims, Fairley testified that Massey did not pose a threat, although he initially reported fearing for his safety due to the hot water. Grayson testified that he believed Massey intended to harm him, prompting him to draw his weapon. After the shooting, Grayson remarked to Farley, "She's done. You can get it, but that's a headshot," and later discarded his medical kit, saying, "I'm not even going to waste my med stuff then." Prosecutors argued that Grayson's actions demonstrated a disregard for public safety, leading Judge Ryan Cadigan to keep him in jail pending trial. An appellate court later ordered Grayson's release under the Pretrial Fairness Act, with an appeal to the state Supreme Court still pending. So they doing all they can to try and get him out. Okay. They doing all they can to let him out, but I'm gonna tell you something. If they let all the Illinois, okay, the citizens in Illinois need to pay close attention to the judges, okay, to the judges that is lenient on him. If this judge does not give him 20 years, that judge does not need to be reelected. Okay. See, this is where the people need to come out and let them know that fat meat is still greasy. They need to have that into the atmosphere right now. If he don't get at least 20, because it's already a travesty of justice, for them to reduce it to 20 to second degree murder when it's clear that he killed that lady is absolutely first degree murder. She did not pose a threat to him. As far as I'm concerned, it was premeditated. That lady begged for her life. She begged him not to hurt her, and he shot her. Okay. Whoever goes easy on him, okay. Whichever judge goes easy on him don't need to be reelected. Okay. This is the lady with curly hair, fire chief. Wow. So rest in peace to Miss Massey. I was looking for the video. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I think this. Y'all, that man is crazy. If they let that man out, he'll get a security job or something like that, or start a security company, and he'll do the exact same thing. He's crazy.
Stand in his own defense Monday, telling the jury he thought Massey was threatening him the night he and his partner responded to her home near Springfield last year. Massey had called 911 to report a disturbance.
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from the hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Grayson says he took the phrase, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," as a threat, testifying he thought she was going to throw the pot of boiling water on him.
Better not, I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
But in body camera video, Massey doesn't raise the pot until after he raises his gun. A key distinction, prosecutors say. He shoots and kills her moments later.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the pot! Drop the pot! Drop
Oh my God.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Grayson telling the jury he didn't use a taser because he had an older model, and Massey was wearing multiple layers of clothing, saying he didn't want to take the chance of it malfunctioning.
Now, before Grayson took the stand, his partner, who responded to Massey's home with him, said he did not see Massey as a threat before his partner fired his gun. Grayson pleading not guilty to all charges. Closing arguments, guys, could begin later today. Wrapping up soon.
Wow. All right, man.
Y'all, that's so hurtful. It really is. That's hurtful. That people are just able to just kill Black folks just like they did in slavery days, and just get away with it. It's really, it's just sad, you know. And the first thing they say is, well, why do they get mad when a white person do it? They killing each other and nothing is said. And that's true. That's why I say we got to stop killing each other, because when they see that we love our own kind and we're not killing each other, they'll know that they just can't come into the Black community and just kill an innocent Black person. That was an innocent Black woman that damn man killed, and it really just messed my head up to look at that all over again. Okay. I didn't vlog a lot on that because stuff like that really messes with me. Okay, it messes with me a whole lot. Cinderoni Television says they say he'll be out in 8 years. If a judge gives him 8 years, that judge, whatever county, whatever city he is in Illinois, they need to make sure that judge is never re-elected. Okay? Never re-elected. Isn't he rotten? Rotten to the core. So rest in peace to her. I saw with her family, okay, was they did an interview. Hold on. You all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, okay? Okay, this is her family.
From victim Sonia Massey. National correspondent Jerika Duncan is at the courthouse in Peoria, Illinois. Jerika, good morning.
Good morning to you, Nate. You know, a jury of 8 women and 4 men deliberated for roughly 12 hours, and I was inside that courtroom when the Massey family was silent. They said this was not justice, but a miscarriage of justice.
He was in 6 police departments in 3.5 years. That is shameful.
Sonia Massey's father, James Wilburn, was emotional and frustrated after Wednesday's verdict. Sean Grayson was facing 3 counts of first-degree murder, but a jury found him guilty on 1 lesser count of second-degree murder, sparing Grayson a possible life sentence.
He told my child he would shoot her in the effing face, and he did it. And all we got was a second-degree murder conviction out of this.
What do you need help with?
The former Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy shot Massey down in her kitchen after she called 911 to check on a suspected prowler. Grayson testified that he viewed Massey's pot of boiling water as a threat and was trained to use force to gain compliance. The trial, which began last week, largely focused on disturbing body camera footage recorded by Grayson's partner in the early morning hours of the deadly 2024 incident. Prosecutors said Grayson failed to render medical aid to Massey right after the shooting. After the verdict, we sat down with Massey's father, cousin, and family friend.
To the Grayson family, what do you say to them?
I feel sorry for them. The mother came over and apologized, and she said we did not raise him that way, and I'm really sorry for your family. My heart goes out to them. We lost Sonia. but they lost a son. And what he did for Sonia, he has to pay. And they realize that.
Earlier this year, Sangamon County paid out $10 million in a wrongful death lawsuit, although the family said they would give all that money back to have Sonia with them. Grayson is expected to be sentenced in January. He is facing up to 20 years in prison.
Well, they knew he was wrong. They didn't even fight that family. They hurry up and paid that $10 million. I hope they've gotten it all, but I mean, that's sad. They paid it quickly because they wanted to go away. They saw that what he did was cruel. Okay, and he only gets second degree. It's just evil. It's evil on a whole nother level. So y'all, I don't really understand what's going on in this world today. But we definitely got to stay prayed up because people are so unhinged. They're unhinged and they're twisted. They are. That's why, I tell my daughters and stuff all the time, don't even waste your time arguing with people because you don't never know what they're on. 1 minute people can be cool. The next minute they're totally unhinged. I thought that person was cool. Like something has triggered them and their mind has told them something. It has set them off. 1 minute they're cool with you, the next minute they're trying to go with you. Okay, because of something that their mind, oftentimes it's a misunderstanding, but their minds can't process that. Okay. It's sad when I think people are supposed to communicate and be able to vibe off of each other's positive energy. But now you find humans trying their best to stay away from other humans for the most part because of just how unhinged people are. You don't ever know what they're going to do, what they're thinking, when they're going to flip, it's so many mental illnesses and stuff. What's going to trigger that? And I'm not talking about people that have mental illnesses, but who wants to be on the other end of a person that has a mental illness when they're triggered and you ain't tried to trigger them or whatever it is that is going on with them. So, hey, it's really sad. Now, this man has gone from police department to police department, and that's because he had some issues going on. He would resign. He was resigning before they fired him. That's what was going on. That was a red flag right there. He's resigning before he gets fired. He's mentally twisted. And if he don't get those 20 years, even if he gets 20 years, he's young enough to get out and live his life. This girl is never coming back. Right? And because of his mental illness, he'll get into something else and he gonna cause some years from now, he's gonna cause some problems, especially if they only give him 8 years, 6 to 8 years. Whoever does that judge don't need to be reelected. That's how you make these judges get some act right. Okay. As I've always told y'all for many years, the 3 most important positions in a county, and every city and state has a county, is your district attorney, your DA. Your district attorney is your DA, your judges, and your sheriff, because they affect your livelihood directly. The DA and the judges and the sheriff get together, they can really mess you up. Okay, they could dog walk you for real, an innocent person. So that's why you have to. I don't agree when people say, especially as it relates to elections that directly affect you. See, they get you caught up in thinking about the presidential election. That really ain't got nothing. That's neither here nor there. Okay. But the elections within your city and your state and your county, people should be out there standing for hours if they need to, because these are the elections that is way more important than a presidential election. Okay. Your state election. See, when people get to talking about Steve Mulroy, okay, yeah, I understand, but understand now, Steve Mulroy is not a lawmaker. See, Steve Mulroy and them still have to operate within the perimeter of the laws. So who are the lawmakers? A lot of the people that's going at them. How come they ain't got their asses in their office changing some of these laws so that these judges and these district attorneys can't play with that? Well, they did this based on a law that is on the book, where the lawmaker, like the senators and the congressmen and all of these lawmakers, they need to change these damn laws, right? So if the laws are firm on the book, we can't really have no problems out of the judges and stuff, right? Because they can only do things within the perimeter of the laws. And if they find ways to try to get around that, then we just get their asses out of office, right? That's what we do. We still have the power, but people don't use the power that they have, because everybody wants to say, well, you know, my vote don't count anyway. Well, that's what they want you to say or think, that your vote don't count. They want you to think that your vote don't count. Every vote counts. Okay, if nothing else, you can go and cancel out somebody else's vote. And we just keep canceling out until somebody wins, okay? Until we come up on top. But we don't do that. And that's something that we definitely got to change in our community, because we can't have police officers just like just going and killing innocent Black people, just like we can't have another Black person going and killing somebody and getting away with it. We got to look at those criminals the same way we look at the police officers. See, people are saying that our community is very hypocritical, because we'll get mad and we want to rally and tear up shit and loot when a white police officer do it, and which what he did, I'd be thinking about marching too, okay? But I ain't gonna go and loot in my own damn neighborhood and going and breaking up into the store. See, people don't give a damn about when stuff like this happen, because they the damn killers in the neighborhoods anyways. They just want a reason to loot. Okay, so that they can put another Black business out of business when they get through looting. They just want to steal and rob and kill, because that's what they do all day. They don't give a damn about the police taking down another Black person when they do it all day, every day. They don't even care about Black people. But we got to take that same energy when it's Black on Black crime. That's why I say they look at us as being hypocritical. Okay, we get mad when the white folks do it, but we got Black folks doing it to each other way more, 10 times more. More Black people are being taken out by Black people. How can we say, well, you know, I ain't no snitch, I'm gonna turn my head on that because, you know, I ain't no rat? No, you ain't no rat, you a bitch. Because anytime you can sit up and turn the blind eye, okay, and y'all know how I get, and turn the blind eye when Black on Black crime is going on, but you want to take your pissy, natty ass and go and be looting and tearing up and burning up houses in your own damn neighborhood when a white police officer do it, you ain't shit. You's a hypocrite. Okay? You don't even give a damn about your own damn community. And that's why a lot of people don't take us seriously, because we got to take a stance on when it's a white on Black crime and Black on Black crime, in which we losing way more Black people with Black on Black crime. Okay? So I got issues with that when we get to talking about, see, people don't like it when I talk about that. We got to be told about ourselves when, you know, we are looting. Your ass ain't worked in 4-5 years because you don't want to work. You sleep all day. Your ass stinking. Okay? But then in Timbuktu, they saw where a white police officer on the news, because that's what the news like to do. They like to create a lot of emotions, because as Black people, we're very emotional. So they run it. They constantly running it. It happened in Timbuktu. It ain't happening in your city. Hey, my heart goes out. It has to be something in place all the way across the board. So you ain't worked in 4 years, you ain't washed your ass in 3, don't do nothing but commit crime, but you up, okay? Hey, Macy, but you up. Yeah, it's time to go loot. Yeah, they took out that young black man. You kill young black men all day, every damn day with your pissy ass. Okay? But now you got one reason to go loot. You done went and burned it up. They setting houses on fire in their own damn neighborhood. Okay? Tearing up their own damn neighborhood. Yeah, I set Miss Watermelon house on fire. Why you set Miss Watermelon house on fire? That lady been living there 45 years. Hell, she done watched you grow up. Yeah, we setting houses on fire. Now your ass sitting outside with your legs crossed because you done burn up your own damn house. Okay? Them went and got all the bread and they pulling drink machines and shit up out of stores. That's the only damn black store in your neighborhood. It done been there 50 years. And you went and burned that up too? Now you got to take your natty piss ass out to the white folks' neighborhood. Okay? Because you done burn up everything in your own neighborhood. That's why they try to get you emotional. That's why the news do that. To get you emotional so you can tear up. Because you ain't going to the white folks' neighborhood and tear up nothing. Because they're going to shoot you. Okay? See, these folks get to talking about I'm a demon and I'm this and I'm that. When they get out here and they get to killing all day, every day, you got the Iranians that's got gas stations in every neighbor, in every corner in the black community. They'll go in there and kill a black man. When he start a black business in the black community, they'll go and break into all the houses, but they gonna, and I'm not promoting this because I don't want nobody to don't go try no Iranian because they humans. But they ain't gonna go and mess with them Iranians because they already know when they go up in there, they feel like it's an honor to die. All these Negroes that's talking about I die, they don't want to die. They already know that the Iranians feel like it's an honor to die for protecting what's theirs. So when they get them big machetes and get it at your damn neck, you already know they coming in with their machetes or they gonna go get their damn bomb. And so we all gonna die up in this motherfucker today. I'm getting ready to drop it and I'm going to heaven and get my 7 virgins or whatever. He gonna run his black ass up out of there because he don't want to die. So he'll go down the street and break up into Miss Mary house, who 88 years old, because he feel like she easy. Okay? None of this stuff is talked about in our community, but they ain't gonna go mess with them Iranians. They stay open all night. They don't close. And you ain't got to worry about nobody going up in there messing with them because they don't want to die. Because they already know they're going to get that grenade out. Nigga, you going to die today and I'm going too. And he going to run his ass up out there, leave his shoes and all up in there. Okay? I'll never forget. I was coming down Mill Branch. There's a store right there at Mill Branch. Now they got those storage places right there, but it's a store right there at Mill Branch, right before you get to like Oakwood. It's right there by Mill Branch and Shelby Drive. I was looking at that little store. I ain't been in that store in years. I don't go in them little stores. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Right across the street from the Mill Branch apartments, I don't go up in them little stores no more. I ain't been up in there in probably 20 years. I ain't going. Okay. And so I was like, dog, it was smoke. I was like, dog, the store on fire. I thought the store was on fire because I saw the police all around the store. I said, it's the store on fire. I couldn't see nothing but smoke coming out of the store. I said, Lord, the store on fire. So I saw at that time, Nick was working at the South Precinct. I saw Nick. I said, Nick, what happened? What happened? Was the store on fire? He said, no, some little young dudes went up in there and tried to rob. It's not as far down as Rains. It was closer to Shelby Drive, like across the street from the Mill Branch apartments. He said some little dudes went up in there and tried to rob them Iranians, and they shot they motherfucking asses back up out of there. Shoes and all left up in the store. They shot up in there. They shot them up out of there. It was smoking. I ain't never heard about. That's been many years ago. I ain't heard about them about 15. I ain't heard about no robberies in that store since. No attempted robberies, because they already know they're gonna chase them up out of there with their machete. They probably thought they had dropped that grenade. They don't go up in there. Okay, they ain't going up in none of them. Okay, even when they talking about they high up on pills and all of that. That's the reason why I know a lot of these Negroes that talking about they doing stuff because they high. They don't be high. You see, they pick and choose what they do. Okay, man, we want to go hit a lick. Let's go in. You've been in the meth house for 5 days straight, getting high off of meth. Brain is a damn scrambled egg. Let's go hit a lick. Them Iranians is open. Nigga, you must be out your mind. That's the reason why I know a lot of these folks that say that they doing stuff because they high. They really ain't that high. They don't get high enough to go up in there and mess with them damn Iranians. Scrambled, slob and shit falling all up out of their mouth. Can't control they spit. Eyes crossed from getting high. Brain scrambled eggs. They already know not to go up in there and mess with them Iranians. Okay? Now, see, some damn fool gonna hear me saying this and go try an Iranian, and we're gonna hear about a stove being blown up, okay? Because they're gonna kill them. That's what's gonna happen. So keep your sprung ass out of them damn stores. Leave them folks alone, okay? Stay in the house and fry your brain, okay? And leave everybody else alone, because they're gonna kill you up in there. So they'll go down the street and mess with somebody that they think in their own community that they think is easy, because they know the Iranians gonna get their machete out and chase them while the other one's shooting. Okay. So a lot of these folks, when they get to, well, you know, I was on drugs and drugs made me do that. I just get to looking at them. No, drugs ain't made you do that. You just wanted to do it because you felt like it was nothing but time and opportunity. But your fried, scrambled egg ass brain knew not to go up in there and mess with them Iranians where the money is plenty up in there. You don't see no armor truck going and get no money up in them type of stores. The money is plenty, but them Negroes know better than to go up in there and mess with them. Okay? Because they already know everybody gonna die, bitch. We got a grenade. I'm get ready to bomb it. We all gonna die. I ain't worried, because you know they think they're going to get them 7 virgins and whatever else they gonna get. So they ain't worried. They feel like it's an honor. Okay, but them Negroes that claim that I die for mine, they don't. Okay, and that's the reason why they don't mess with them, because they know they got to die. So a lot of this stuff is people just wanting to violate other people. Okay? They just want to violate other people. Because I remember when folks was on crack, I say this all the time. You didn't see or hear about them doing nothing and molesting no kids, not unless they already had a history of it before they got on crack. Okay? People are always trying to use drugs as a, you know, I was on drugs. I did when I was on drugs. You been a molester. You was molesting folks before you got on them. Okay, if you check their history, you will see it. But people don't want to take responsibility for what they do. Okay, they don't want to take responsibility for what they do. They want to blame everybody and everything else for what's going on. Okay, you judging me. Why you say I'm judging you? You call me a crackhead. Well, you is a damn crackhead. If you doing crack, you a crackhead. See, people want to sugarcoat stuff. They want to do stuff, and then they want somebody to put a damn titty in their mouth. I ain't had no milk in my breast for over 20-some years. Okay, I can't do it. And even if I had milk in them, I ain't putting it in no grown Negro mouth, not unless it's my damn man. Okay? But people want to be able to commit crimes, do what they want to do, and then want somebody to breastfeed them and finesse them and caress them after they've gone and ruined people's lives. Okay? And so that's why I say we got to get ourselves together. No other community is going to take our race seriously until they see that we love our own race. Once they see we're united, we ain't taking each other out. I bet you they think twice about going and just gunning down a black man, because they know it's going to be hell to pay. The activists in other communities, you don't see it that much happening in other communities because the activists in those communities are really about their business. We already know the activists in the Black community can be bought out for a damn bologna sandwich. Okay? A damn bologna sandwich. Okay? And you better not put no cheese on it. You through. You really through. And it ain't nothing in place as a deterrence. Okay? So that's why everybody continuously sells out the Black community, because we too busy hating on each other and not putting shit in place. Letting folks know if you come into our community and do anything, it's going to be some repercussions. But at this point, the only repercussions in our community is being successful. Folks get mad at you, as Diane was saying, if they think you got more mustard on your plate than them. She got more credentials than me, or she knows somebody I don't know. Okay? So then they start trying to ruin somebody that could be a blessing to them. Okay? But God ain't gonna let them. They end up ruining themselves. You know, God put in my head today when I was driving. Okay? God put in my head, while the devil is busy plotting. See, when you're doing evil, that means you taking your mind off of what you really should be praying about in your life. You can't even pray about what's going on in your life for God to keep you safe, to keep your kids safe, to cover your health and all of that, because you have taken your eyes off of the prize, because that's the prize, and put it on trying to destroy somebody else. Okay? But God put in my head, put in my mind today, while the devil is busy plotting. Okay? They've taken their eyes off of what they really should be praying for. And you know what happens when you do that. So while they're trying to dig ditches for other people, they really sabotaging themselves, leaving themselves open for all types of attacks. Okay? Because when you're a child of the Most High God, and you know that you do right, I don't care what kind of attacks that they are darts, fiery darts that they shoot at you. It can't work. Our community needs some repair. Okay? Our community needs some repair. Okay? And I always say this, because I mean this, until there is some reconciliation between the Black men and the Black women, everything is going to continuously be off of balance in the Black community. Okay? That's just how it is. These Black men don't understand, like, when they think that it's cool to use and abuse women, that's the reason why they can't be blessed, because that you know, it's, and even when they think they're blessed, they can't keep it. And the same thing for women, because now women have become so emotionally checked out. They just look at a man as a lick now. It's a sad thing. No emotions. I don't want no love. That's it. I don't want no love. I don't love him. I'm trying to get me some money. That's it. And they'll use their precious body and temple to do it. It's sad. It's sad what's going on in our community. Our community is really messed up. And the sad thing about it is, you know, you got people that truly have a love for kicking knowledge, but they get kicked down. Okay, the media can put out a scandal on them in a heartbeat and try and destroy their credibility. That's when you know they probably not. I ain't talking about Puffy, but that's when you know that they're probably effective. Puffy ain't tried to help the Black community, but I'm talking about somebody that has truly tried to help the Black community, and there's some progress in it, especially as it relates to Black men, because I think that is the agenda, to always keep Black men off of balance, and they doing a damn good job, because these damn fools is crazy. Okay? And when Black men are off of balance, it keep Black women off of balance. Okay? Because the man is the head. So that's the reason why a lot of things don't line up, because a lot of black men aren't balanced. They ain't on their throne like they should be. And so that's why things are out of order in the household, the women and the children, because they're supposed to be covering us, and they're supposed to be covered by God. Okay. A lot of these damn fools don't even believe that there is a God or a higher power. They think, I don't know how they think they got here. Okay. But now, although I don't believe God created all these folks, some of these folks so evil. I don't believe everybody came from God either. Because they said, well, God created us all. I get to looking in some people's eyes and it ain't nothing there, and they evil and all. I don't know where these bitches come from, but everybody ain't came from God though, I don't think. Anyway, y'all, I ain't gonna get, because I could really get to preaching. Y'all know I be all over the place. Listen, I want to talk about Finesse 2 Times right quick. I was looking at Finesse 2 Times. Okay, Finesse 2 Times is stupid. And Sugar just be laughing, and she just is dumb as a box of rocks. The only thing I'm gonna say this. Finesse need to get himself some help. I'm gonna say that. He needs to get help before it gets too bad, because it's looking like he's a drunk and a druggie, a drug head. He's a drunk and a junkie, and so he needs to go and get some help for both of those type situations. Some people have let the devil have. Yeah, some people have let the devil. I get to looking at. I won't even talk. I don't like to deal with people, have conversations with them either. If they want to talk to me with their shades on, if I can't look at their eyes, because sometimes you can look at a person's eyes and it'll scare the shit out of you. Like, oh my God, I know that person is evil. When people get to talking about certain people got pretty eyes and stuff, no, I don't know why. I could just look at people's eyes and tell. I could tell when they're crazy, when they have crazy eyes, and I could tell when they're evil. That's why I be trying to look at their eyes, because their eyes tell a whole lot. Crazy or evil, or both. I'm gonna show y'all something. A perfect example. Damn. Just like you could tell when oh Lord Jesus, oh my God. You could tell when somebody has flipped out by their eyes. Have you ever seen a person and they were, at one time they was okay, and then like you could look at their eyes and tell, like when they've had breakdowns and shit. It really is sad. It's so many people that go through so much stuff. Hold on, y'all. Oh God. Oh Lord, I don't want to show them. Hold on. This man right here. And he's still crazy. Y'all know I took a class and we did research on serial killers and stuff. Okay. I don't know what it is. I don't want to be a psychology or nothing, but it's always been interesting to me to study the mind, like to figure out how people think, to size them up, not to see what I can get, but I just like to. It's just something about it. But like this right here is the son of Sam. Okay. Now the son of Sam says that the neighbor's dog forced him to kill all them people the summer of, I believe it was in the 70s. Look at his cheeks. Look at his face. Look at him. There's something wrong with him. Now, he says, now he's still in jail. He claims that there's been a redemption and all of that. This is him now. Look at it. He's still crazy. He's still crazy. He tried to say that he said that Sam, the neighbor's dog, he was the son of Sam, And Sam told him to go and kill all them folks. It was a massacre, basically. This happened in real life. Okay. I'm gonna show y'all some more. Now we see with Charles Manson. Charles Manson, that's who I did my reports and stuff on. I studied everything about what they did. That's who I did my projects and stuff on in that class. What I saw about Charles Manson is, yeah, when he was on drugs, he was crazy, but he was not as crazy. He was just evil. He wasn't crazy. He wasn't crazy. He was evil. He didn't really kill people. What he did was he manipulated. That's why when people, I see people on here that go and seek out weak-minded folks to manipulate. Those are people that bear watching, because nobody seeks out folks other than somebody that could have potentially, really, that's mentally ill and has the potential to kill through sending out other people, right? And people that are easily sent out are dangerous too, okay? But what he did was he manipulated weak-minded people. He didn't really kill nobody. He manipulated weak-minded people that were rejects to go and commit all of those massacres. Okay, that was rejects that wanted to belong, be a part of something. Those types of people, he got them. So he was really he was not dumb at all. That's the reason why he said, I never killed anybody, and he didn't. He probably did, but those murders he didn't. He put up the weak-minded people to go and do it. Right. I studied everything about, but yeah, as far as being crazy, I guess, but he was just more evil, right? That's why, and I don't like talking about him. But there was a vlogger on here, Onan. Okay, one of the reasons that I kept doing something is because I felt like he had the potential of a Charles Manson. He didn't care what he did. You had weak-minded people that was willing to sacrifice their own livelihood to do his dirt because they wanted to belong. Yeah, it was sad. Okay, it was messed up. Anyway, y'all, I had intentions on staying on here for, I guess I could stay on here for 2 hours. Y'all, my notifications are not going out. Like the last few times I've been on here, I ain't had but like 40 something people on here. It's really weird because one of my phones go out. It's supposed to go off each and every time I go live. That phone has not gone off, not now time I done went live within the last month. I'm telling you that right now. Hold on. Let me see something. See there? So that's really weird. Anyways, guys, that's why I say pay attention to people's eyes. Pay attention to like people's habits. Pay close attention to when people focus in on certain things and don't know how to let it go. Those are all the signs of obsessive people are usually can be very dangerous, right? Because people are supposed to be able to move on from stuff. I'm one of those ones that I don't really forgive people. Okay, that's between me and God, but I don't stay stuck on nothing. I just ain't fooling with you if you do something to me. That's different than being obsessive. My phone is so busy at the wrong times that I never see the notifications. Turn off notifications, then count to 5, turn them back on. Okay. Anyways, you guys. What else was I going to talk about? Okay, so tomorrow, yeah, I know I got some exams. I'm going to try to do some of them tonight. And like tomorrow, I want to get on here and say, oh, I said I was going to check. Let me see something. Let me see if they reschedule Cornelius' court hearing as I said I would do. Hold on. Because he probably won't be at court tomorrow either. But let's see. Or he might be at court tomorrow because he was there the last time. But they might reschedule it, so because they're still not saying anything about sentencing. So at this point, I don't know when they're gonna sentence him. He was supposed to be sentenced a year ago. Oh, another thing I want you all to do too. Hold on one second. Smith Cornelius. Be quiet, Remy. Oh, okay, well, let me look at something else right quick, y'all. Stop. Okay, so he's not there. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something else. So, like I said, it's showing that he is supposed to be in court. They didn't reschedule early, which means he will be there, just like he was last time. Hold on. Hold on, you all. Hold on, y'all. I'm looking at something right quick. Please, just give me a minute. Hold on, y'all. Oh. Listen, y'all, do y'all got members? Y'all got my platinum? Y'all, I'm getting ready to go into the platinum right quick, okay? If you're not a platinum member, go into the platinum, okay? I'll see y'all over there. Talk to you in a minute.